Welcome back. If you've ever completed a painfully long assignment only to lose it before you turn it in, then you realize how frustrating this can be. Or maybe you sat down to study for a test and you realize that you don't have the right materials. These are common problems that are easily solved with a few simple organization strategies. That's what this topic is all about, helping you solve these organizational problems and others like them. You might be wondering why organization is important. Well, the more organized you are, the quicker you can complete assignments and the less likely you are to lose them. The time that you spend looking for items is time that you could be using to do more fun activities instead. Organization is just a group of habits that people develop over time. Anyone can become organized. It just takes a little effort to learn the skills and maintain the strategies. Let's talk about your binders first. Some people prefer to have one binder per class. Others like to keep one giant binder, and some people use a couple of binders and combine classes. However many that you choose to have, here are some tips to keep them organized. The first is to keep extra loose leaf paper in the back of your binder, or in a tab that is labeled Notes or something similar. A really useful idea is to keep several clear page protectors for papers that you need to keep in nice condition. Another reason that page protectors are useful is having a place to put handouts that don't yet have holes punched into them. For example, when your professor passes out a paper without holes in it, such as a graded test or a handout, you'll have a place to put it in your binder right away, and it doesn't go just shoved into some random place where it could easily get lost. These are very easy to find at any office supply store. Next, it's a good idea to keep a zipper case with pens, pencils, highlighters, some Post-it notes, and maybe a ruler. If you have a separate binder for each class, you may want to keep one main zipper case in your backpack instead. But if you only have a few binders, it's convenient to have all of your note-taking supplies right there when you are taking notes in class, and it makes it a lot easier to keep organized if you have a zipper case in the front of your binder. One problem a lot of students have with keeping their papers organized happens when they get a paper from their teacher that doesn't have holes in it. Usually what happens is these papers get shoved into some random place in the binder, or even worse, into the black hole that a backpack can become. Then the student has to spend time organizing a bunch of random pages later on, if the papers don't get lost or thrown out by accident. A useful tool that solves this problem is a mini hole punch. They are small and flat, so they fit in the front or the back of your binder. If you can punch holes into the paper as soon as you receive it, then put it into the correct tab right away, it will make it much easier and more convenient to stay organized throughout the year. Eventually, you will have the problem that your binder is getting too full, or you have too many papers in it that you don't need anymore. Use a filing cabinet, a filing drawer, or a plastic filing crate to keep track of papers that you no longer need in your binder. However, if possible, most students find it useful to wait until the end of the grading period to move the papers from their binders into the files. I recommend keeping all papers together in folders organized by subject. When you no longer need a handout or a paper from class, remove it from your binder and place it in the subject area in your home file. Place the most recent papers in the front of each file so that each file is automatically organized by date. You should absolutely keep all papers and assignments in either your binder or your home files for the entire school year in case you need to look back at them. Some students tell me that they don't want to keep the paper copies of their pages, so they scan the papers or take pictures of them at the end of the semester and then keep a file on the computer of scanned documents or photographs. This can be really helpful and save space too. For this topic's activity, update your study materials plan by deciding which tools will work best for you. You should have already chosen the type of planner that you'll be using. The next section asks you to choose a method of organizing your papers. In the following topics, we'll discuss choosing the best study location. In this topic, you learned the best way to keep your binder organized and your backpack from becoming a black hole for papers to disappear in. You also learned how to create a filing system to keep track of the papers that don't fit into your binder anymore. Try it out for yourself this week.